Have you recently been to the grocery store and noticed empty shelves? My name is Greg Tomchik, CEO here at Valor Cybersecurity, and we've been tracking a widespread cyber attack that took place on June 5th. United Natural Foods, Inc., which is a major distributor for Whole Foods and over 30,000 other grocery stores, experienced a cyber attack. We are traditionally, as a company, not ambulance chasers, which means we don't chase the shiny object of the next cyber attack. They're happening everywhere, but this is a critical one because it impacts our households. It impacts the entire supply chain of getting nutrients to citizens' dinner tables and making sure as a society we maintain healthy access to foods. This is a critical one from a supply chain standpoint. It shows that digital systems are so important in both our food standpoint and the businesses that we operate. So I wanted to break this down for you guys. Basically, on June 5th, United Natural Foods noticed some suspicious activity on their systems. And this is probably a nation state attack. They know that the food supply, energy, gas, and some of these other systems are critical to our way of life. And they decided with that suspicious activity to shut everything down, which is a smart move, but it also halted operations, trucking space going to different grocery stores, and the ability to deliver upon the promise that they had to their 30,000 and even more customers and stores that they delivered to. That meant no deliveries, no new orders, no restocking shelves. Retailers had to scramble and try to find other providers and backup solutions to be able to get food and products to the companies, the people that shopped at their stores specifically. This was a breakdown of trust. We talk a lot about trust but verify in the cybersecurity space, and we help a lot of our clients with their supply chain. You have to trust, but then verify and make sure you take action on what could go wrong. This was not just a disruption. This was something that really impacted the ability to keep our lives moving. I know I've noticed it here in the Virginia area that shelves in general have been more empty because of this. And this is only about a week into the attack. So this is a week impact. Imagine if it was longer periods of time, and that's what can happen through the reliance we have on digital systems each and every day. But most people don't realize it. So we want to use situations like this to help people feel that this impacts our everyday lives, groceries, gas, electricity, even the healthcare network. These ecosystems, these solutions really depend on connected systems. And one weak link, just like suspicious activity, or maybe they got in through one of their vendors. This is a major distributor impacted by cybersecurity and by a cyber attack because of the broken connection or the gap that they had in their security. This is not an isolated situation. Brands like Adidas, Victoria's Secret, we saw it at Sony many years ago. We've seen schools shut down for weeks, months because of cyber attacks. They're not going after data. The criminals, the hackers aren't just going after data anymore. They used to basically exfiltrate or take information and go sell it on the dark web. Today's world, with the geopolitical situation, with a lot of the things going on from a political standpoint, these criminals want to see disruption. They don't want to just sell data and make money in return. They can monetize disruption, monetize chaos, because ultimately disruption pays. There's something called ransomware. Ransomware has been in the crime scene for a long time, but it's execute a disruption or take something away that somebody really desires and ask them for money on the back end to give it back to them. And these types of things for companies like United really pauses their operations. They're probably going to go potentially have to pay a ransom because these criminals and hackers are very sophisticated and they're strategic when it comes to making sure they get what they want at the end of the day. You have to prepare like you will be a target. United had some great things in place from what we've seen. You have to have a great instant response plan. They came out and said, we have been attacked. Here is the potential impact. So they were proactive about it, which is great on their end. but they potentially may not have been looking at themselves as a target because they were just a food provider to them. We oftentimes simplify our impact on the supply chain, and we don't think we'll ever be a target because bigger companies will be the target. Maybe they thought Whole Foods would be a target and Amazon versus them as a provider. You have to test your systems, make sure your systems can operate under stress. Maybe that's a failover, or training your people to be able to survive when digital systems are not online. Invest in infrastructure. They obviously invested in it, but ultimately the bottom line here is this cyber attack was not about Whole Foods. That's the impact at the end of the day, the 30,000 odd companies that are impacted by this. But this is not about Whole Foods. It's about all of us both having awareness and then taking action to realize how fragile these systems are at the end of the day, and how we as leaders can make sure to take action to make sure we're secure and prepared for things like this that are going to pop up. It's not a matter of if, but when. Cybersecurity continues to not be a tech problem. It is a life problem. And this is not ideal situation to show that it impacts our life safety, it impacts our livelihood. And we want to make sure to inform you on the things that are going on that are going to impact you, your families, your businesses. And this is one of those that are really going to have a big impact today, this week, but also for weeks to come. And we want to make sure you're prepared. Once again, my name is Greg Tomczyk, CEO here at Valor Cybersecurity. Stay safe, stay secure.